right, we're back here again on the Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 173. I actually didn't get to do 173 with Braden. Thought we were going to do that, and then it just didn't line up with B. Hayes once again. So my MLB playoff predictions, Austin, I don't know if you checked in, but it was one of the shortest pods I've ever cut. It was like 9 minutes. Not watched a ton of baseball this year, so I just went pretty straightforward, and really didn't take a lot of time off the clock with that MLB predictions. I took the Guards to be in the World Series and they lost yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, when people listen to this, they'll know whether they're going to a game three or if they're just out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I think I did mine yesterday. I had a Red Sox Phillies World Series. So Red Sox with the upset yesterday. I mean that's looking like a bold prediction, but it's looking
Yeah.
pretty good. But I don't blame you for that being a very short spiel. I mean, with all due respect, I don't like that baseball is such a long regular season. It's like, oh, if you lose two out of three, like, say ya. Like, really? I don't know. I don't like that.
I do like that it's still hard, it feels like, to make the playoffs. I like that.
Hmm.
But it is rough in the wild. Like it's cutthroat, man. It is a
Yeah. They
cutthroat.
should do it like the NBA where every series is 7 games, in my opinion.
I think you could do five.
Well,
You could
at
argue
least
five.
for the
I
wild
like
card,
the
yeah.
shortened playoff format though. I really do. I think it's fun. I mean, honestly, I'd rather do the wild card just one game if instead
Well,
of
it
three.
used to be
I
up
remember
until I
that. Yeah,
think
yeah.
2021, something around
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That's what I'm saying is I remember when it was one game and I actually prefer that.
Hmm.
I low key prefer the one game and be like three is actually more stressful because three you talk
Yeah.
yourself into. You're like, oh, we can lose one and we'll be all right. Whereas one game it was like put it all here.
Hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully that made sense. All right, Austin. How did we do last week?
Ooh, boy. Um, Let me take a look. We got shelled last week.
Are you gonna tell me 0 for 6?
No, 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 no. Oh boy, I'm trying to think. That game did okay. We went 2-4 last week, I think. So it wasn't as bad as I thought. We were 0-3 in the 1 o'clock block, and that's what made me nervous. I was like, I'm gonna get reverse swept here. Um, but no, the Bills failed to cover that spread. It's just one of those games where Josh Allen's just kind of messing around. Like he knows he's gonna win, so he's just trying to test out. Like, hey, what do I got in my bag? And
Yeah.
he threw his first pick of the year. Um, I don't know there. Commanders money line. I saw that line shift like 3 points before kickoff. I was like, I wonder what that's all about. Didn't know Terry McLaurin wasn't going to play. Not to say that was the only impact of that whole game, but certainly didn't help. Tampa last week as well. They didn't wake up till about end of the first half when McLaughlin nailed a 65-yarder, and
Yeah.
then Baker threw a pick right there at the very end. They had all the momentum in that entire game heading towards the second half, but that didn't get there. Then Niners money line too. I don't know this Jacksonville football team. And we'll definitely talk about that later with Monday Night Football. But what a weird team. And to walk into Levi Stadium and knock off an undefeated San Francisco team, it raises even more questions as to who they really are. But that caught me off guard. Rams get there, close game against Indy, and then Ravens Chiefs over hits because the Ravens defense is missing like half of their starters, and it's week 4.
Quick thing for this week. Well, I guess we should talk about last week real quick. Panthers last week. I just don't know what to think at this point. I don't know what's going on with us because how do you 30-0 a team and then turn around and get smacked? I think the final was 46-14. I mean, at least I love Drake May, so that was nice. I mean, I get to watch Drake May ball out, but it was awful, man. Yeah. So the Dolphins game, like the Dolphins, I don't think are good. But maybe the Jets are worse than we thought. But I also like kind of came away with that game happier with the Jets with Tyreek going down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I like this Jets team still. Um, Giants had the game I thought they were going to have last week this week.
Yeah. Oh, and I did want to point that out too. I don't know if I said that on air last week that I had the Giants winning straight up,
But
but
you
I did
did.
want to say what a ballsy pick from the
Yeah.
kid. I mean, truth be told, now I'm in a Survivor League with like I don't know, probably a little over 100 people, and actually someone I know like in real life took them this week, and I'm like, I don't think I am. That just smells like a trap game to me. So I took Denver, which was sweat free, but he was like, how did the Chargers lose to the Giants? I'm like, listen, they just went 3-0 against their division. The Giants haven't won a game all year. They're also playing a backup quarterback in Jackson Dart who has no film. It's written in the stars. It's going to happen. And it did.
Yeah, I was going to say to you, I mean, I actually thought they looked good. I mean, it sucks losing neighbors. Like that, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it absolutely blows. Um, but overall, like I think I still like that team a lot for the reasons I've said. I like their defense. Brian Burns, I have his jersey on the Panthers. I mean, I was sad when we traded him. I think Brian Burns is good. Sexy Dex, he's obviously legit. Abdul Carter's coming along. He got a flag the other day, but he's going to work out of that. And yeah, I like this Giants team. I know Dayball's fighting for his life to save his job, and he's in love with Jackson Dart. Anybody saw that intimate tweet? Um, but yeah, I think the Giants are fun. They are America's favorite shitter. I mean, they've went viral multiple
Mhm.
times now.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Scatterbo, obviously for one thing, talking about CTE caught Cam Scatterbo, and then there's the whole talk. Sexy Dexy had his first interception last
Yep.
week too, which he almost took to the house. And if he had gotten 3 yards further, that would have been one of my favorite highlights of all time.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
a big Dexter Lawrence fan, and I'm
Me
a
too.
big fan of big man interceptions. So
Yeah.
that really would have checked all the boxes for me.
Well, I think you like that Giants team. If this is the core for the next 3 years, like it's a good team. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I would like for them to have a better wide receiver too. But if Scadaboo's your main running back with Jackson Dart, if Dart plays like Dart literally played like Dayball's mini Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, that's what they drafted him to be.
Yeah.
So he should.
And that's what he played like. And I'm like, now, granted, that's not me saying he's gonna be Josh Allen. I don't think he's ever gonna be that good. But I'm
No.
saying if he can be poor man's Josh Allen, that's a fun team. A
Yeah.
fun NFC team. And a division that, while I don't think they'll be frisky in it this year, I think they might win a couple games. Next year, it's like, they have a good offseason. Neighbors is back.
Mhm.
Neighbors going down, though, killed me. And one of my favorite players draft fantasy. Didn't I just say it on this pod last week that Neighbors were my favorite wide receivers?
You did.
And
Yeah.
it's a bit scary how much power I hold, I guess.
What'd you say about Tyreek last week? Anything?
It's funny. You think he's going to retire and move to his career in porn like he's always talked?
At this point, I would be afraid to be his child, like seeing him come back home. Like, no offense to his children, but like that's
Wow.
a very surreal scene at this point.
Wow.
I,
No. Yeah. The Tyreek
what
jokes, it's like you have to feel bad joking about it because it's like it's a bad situation, man.
you do, but like, jokes are supposed to like enlighten the fact, but it is a very depressing situation. I just found it weird that he was smiling and laughing after suffering not only a physically painful injury, but like the mental toll that would take on a majority of players. And he's just like, whatever, I got my Super Bowl. I hate it here. Obviously, he's done with Tua. Yeah, it's been a noted factor for weeks now, even years, to be honest with you. But I mean, if he goes somewhere else, he'll never have the speed he once had. So
Yeah.
there is that, and obviously that's his X factor. So he may retire, but I going to Miami is what killed his career in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he won Offensive Player of the Year that one year, I think, didn't he? In 2023 with them. And then
Did
since then, it really like 2023, he had a bonkers season. I mean, absolutely bananas with them. And then after that, it just kind of all went downhill from there in
he
Miami.
was close to 23. It was McCaffrey though. I had a feeling it was like down to the wire between those two.
But he
I
was
do
ranked
remember
number
that.
one going into the next year. I just remember the NFL Top 100. Not
Yes.
that that means much.
Right, right,
I
right.
just remember that. No, for those of you who don't know, Tyreek Hill has said before that he has a future in the adult film industry once he's retired. Maybe that's why he went to Miami.
That's a good point, actually. It
Isn't
probably
it?
have better
I'm pretty
opportunities.
sure it's like the hub of that. So it's like,
Yeah, you would be correct.
because I remember a few years back there was a company trying to buy the Heat stadium. Whether that was a real story or not, I found it very funny. It was on
Really,
Bleacher Report a while back. Yeah.
it's incredible.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough about that. Let's move into the EV passes.
All right, let's get it started. We are kicking it off with the Dallas Cowboys -2.5 at -112 against the New York Jets this week in East Rutherford. Listen, Dak Prescott has really impressed me. If there's a quarterback right now that's playing some of his best football that I don't think is getting the recognition he deserves, it's Dak Prescott. And I know he's on a 1-3 football team, but to see what he did last week against a really good Packer defense without CD Lamb really impressed me. I think he moves the ball very well around his targets. It's great to have CD Lamb, but it's not like it's the Bengals with Jamar Chase, right? Where Jake Browning is throwing it to him 10 to 12 times a game, and he's only coming down with 3 or 4 of them. It's, three to this guy, four to this guy, check down to Javonte Williams. Like, it's a very fluid offense, and I do appreciate that there. And, just to mention the downfalls of the Jets, just such a poor football team, all things considered. Close to winning week one, should have won week one against Pittsburgh, but since then, they've just been uninspiring. I mean, Justin Fields, I thought would look a lot better. especially having Garrett Wilson this season, right? That Buckeye connection, but it has just failed to produce anything successful or entertaining. I mean, I thought the Jets would win on Monday night last week, or at least keep it close. And I know they lost by 6, but that game was out of reach from halftime. They looked awful. So I think 2.5 years is a very disrespectful spread to Dallas. So I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they're doing the Cowboys thing where it's like their offense is good and their defense is bad. It's like it's reversed from
Mhm.
what the narrative was in the past couple of years. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Dak's putting up numbers and he's actually playing well. Like the finally, it's starting to feel like the eye test with Dak is holding up to the stats.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt like he's a stats guy, but you watch him, you're not that impressed. He's legitimately impressed me this season. I don't really go out of my way to watch the Cowboys, but I think he has played really well and. I don't know. I wonder if they try to move on from him this offseason, what team would the like how much money would the Browns throw at Dak Prescott? I find interesting. Or some team that's QB needy. Hopefully not Carolina. I don't know if that's what I want us to do. I don't even
Mhm.
know what the hell we should do. But not to make it about the Panthers. But yeah. Oh, quick thing before you move on to your next one. Herbert threw 2 picks. He might be coming back to earth. I mean, the Herbert MVP train might not even get out of September. So, you know, I might not have won the battle, but I may have won the war. So
He is still second favorite to win MVP as of yesterday, but
he's only second because Lamar got hurt. He was
well,
third before.
that is a fair point. But Josh Allen right now is he has 1-to-1 odds or 2-to-1, whatever it is. He's plus 100, which is nuts.
Plus
Yeah,
100?
yeah, which is nuts.
Good night.
Yeah,
If you got a ticket on him at like plus like 5 to 1, that's probably like the highest it ever was.
I'm not sure what his preseason line was actually because it's very rare for a player to go back to back in any award,
That's what I'm
even if
saying.
they have a really good year. Like Aaron Rodgers winning back to back, in my opinion, even if his stats were better the first year, I think it's more impressive that he won it the second year because you have to be that much better than yourself last year and everybody else,
Yeah.
like to a point. So
Well, I don't think he deserved it in 21. It should have been Cooper Cup, but that's a conversation for a different
I
day.
respect that take.
All right, what's your next pick?
Okay, I will say it was hard to find some in the 1 o'clock block because there are a lot of teams on buys this week. So I'm kind of digging deep here and just praying and hoping. I'm taking the Giants and the Saints over 40.5 at minus 115.
Who's on
Um,
bye this week?
Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Chicago, and there's one other. So I think we're down to 14
Is it
games. But
Vegas?
no, they play the Colts this week. Forget who
Okay, I
else
just
it is.
wondered.
Yeah.
What was
But
your pick? Sorry, sorry.
oh, you're good. Giants, Saints over 40.5 at minus 115. Um, the Saints in particular last week kind of surprised me and
Yeah.
disappointed me at the same time. They had actually ample opportunities to make that a one-score game like throughout the entirety of it, and then they gave the ball to Chris Olave to throw to the end zone, which got intercepted, and he began his day with -2 fantasy points. Um, I will say the Giants offense could probably use some tweaking. I don't think their red zone efficiency might be the worst in the NFL,
Yeah.
maybe even in this century since, for the opening 4 weeks. They have had so many goal to God. I mean, even that Dexter Lawrence interception, they didn't score a touchdown on that drive. They started at the 3. Like,
Yeah.
really? That's
Awful.
embarrassing. But I do think it'll get better. I think having Jackson Dart now as a consistent starter is going to open up the door to a lot of things. And I also don't think the Saints offense is that bad. Like they do have their weapons still. They have Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara and Juwan Johnson. Like I do think they have the people there. It's just a matter of can Spencer Rattler get them the football. And I think he's actually done a better job recently than he did at the beginning of the year. So I think 40.5, it's going to be close, but I think it'll be more like 42 or 43. I'll take the over.
Well, and the Saints are favored. They're the money line
They
favorite.
are, yeah, just probably because of that neighbor's injury I think you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, but I'm saying I honestly think like put in the surefires, like take Bills over Patriots and then take Lions over Bengals and then just parlay it with the Giants, right? If you like this Giants team, then of course.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that would be my pick, is like I would just throw those in. Like just take the surefire wins, which I feel like the Bills, it's Bills at home, they don't lose at home. I'll bet that every time.
Mhm.
Even though I like Drake May. Like this it's Bills at home. And I think there's no way the Lions lose the Bengals. Like there's probably maybe not a worse matchup for the Bengals right now than the Lions.
No,
Um,
and
like
we'll talk about
second,
that
best
later too. Believe
secondary
me.
in the league
Yep.
and an elite offense versus a terrible defense and a bad quarterback. Like so, and I feel like that's obvious. And then you just tie that in with the Giants because the Giants that boosts your odds a lot. That's what I like. I might actually
Yeah.
do that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we're going to move on now to our last game of the 1 o'clock, which is the Broncos and Eagles under 43 and a half at minus 112. I think these are two of the best defenses in football and two offenses that really haven't had as good of a kickstart to the season from where they picked up last year, especially Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts has been even more of a system quarterback than Brock Purdy was in 2023, which is really saying something because he was getting a whole lot of crap for being a system quarterback a couple of years ago. Hurts, I know that Philly put up 31 points last week. You got to take into account how many turnovers they forced, the blocked punt that went back for a touchdown. I mean, a lot of fluke points there that their offense really didn't produce. Saquon's been a bit disappointing this season for his standards, not for like the
Yes.
overall
Yeah.
NFL
Yeah. Yeah.
standard, but it's hard to, keep that upper echelon after going for a 2,000 yard season, which I get. But not to say teams have figured them out, they've contained them better. And I think Denver's defense with their front seven will do a great job of that. Not to mention the Eagle defense, obviously, they've done great things this season too. And I don't think Bo Nix has hit his peak point that he found last year, heading into that November December area of last season. Maybe it'll happen this game, but I just trust both these defenses more than their offenses, so I like under 43 and a half here.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. Honestly, the Bucks killed us last week. I mean, we both thought the Bucks might win that, and they did not. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to mess with the Eagles, but you're doing an under here, so I feel like a little more comfortable with that. So I also think this Broncos team. I don't know what to think yet because I'm a Knicks believer, but he played it pretty well Monday night. I wasn't blown away in a way I expected him. I really felt like that was going to be a primetime game, Bo Nix. Like, this is going to be a big game for him. The announcer's like, oh, man. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, yes, we did.
And it just didn't happen the way I thought it would. So I was a little surprised by that, a little disappointed. So I don't know what to think yet on the Broncos, but yeah, I think this is a good call with the under. What's next?
All right, into the 4 o'clock now. I'm sticking with them, even though they let me down last week. Going Bucks plus 3.5 here on the road in Seattle at minus 115. Kind of surprised to see Tampa as the underdogs here, and I wonder if they got the win last week in a close game, how different this line might look. Would they be favored to win this game? But regardless, I think giving them an extra point from a field goal is very, very interesting. Setting the bar a little bit further than I would have thought. I would have thought 1.5, 2.5 at the most. Um, I did pick Seattle to win last week against Arizona, but I don't think they're as good as the sports books are making them out to be. Um, I trust Tampa's offense a lot more, especially with Chris Godwin getting back in the mix, starting him in fantasy this week. Puka has been ridiculous. Baker Mayfield's been slinging the football like it is his 2020 heydays. He's actually just been a staple top five quarterback now for the entirety of the season, which is awesome.
You
Um,
really think so?
oh, for sure. I don't think it's a question anymore that he's top five right now.
Okay.
No doubt. But I again, I trust this offense a lot. I'd like to see their defense get a little bit more involved, but playing Seattle, Sam Darnold is a very turnover happy quarterback. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, like when it rains, it pours, and obviously Seattle would know that more than anything. And again, another Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold rematch. I think this is going to be the third time that they've played each other now. And I think Baker had won the previous two. So it's, in my opinion, I'm just going to ride the hot hand. I'll take the Bucks spread here. If you want to take the money line, uh, I'd encourage you to go for it. But I'll play it a little bit more safe because I just feel like they want you to bite at that money line. So I'll just take the points.
I like both these teams, and the Bucks upset me last week. This is a no bet for me.
That's fair.
I'm staying away. I think my two bets for this week, for being like fully honest, so I'm probably gonna bet just straight up Lions Bills both to win for like $5. It'll get me like 250, but I feel like those are free.
Hmm.
And then I think I'll probably do like a $1 parlay of Giants, Bills, Lions. That's probably what I'll do. And like I said, I would bet. I like betting the Bucks, especially at plus money. But like, I can't convince myself to do it. I just can't. Because I like the Seahawks team too much. I think when they get Jackson Smith and Jigba going, and they have Kenneth Walker in the backfield,
Hmm.
and Darnold's just kind of dealing. Like he doesn't have to do anything crazy. He's just kind of, he's kind of steering the ship. And then they turned it over on defense, and you're like, there's Tariq Woolen, there's Devon Witherspoon. Who else am I forgetting? It's on that defense. That's good.
Josh Jobe,
Yes, thank you.
Boye Mafe. That's one of my
Yes,
favorite
like
names in the NFL, by the
you're
way.
just looking at all these defenders and you're like, all these guys are good. So
Hmm.
it's like that's I don't know. The Seahawks, I just don't ever feel comfortable with any team playing them.
No, that's
If they went to
understandable.
Buffalo this weekend, I'd probably bet the Bills still, but like
Hmm.
I'd rather see the Patriots from the Bills.
Yeah,
Coming off a 43-point win, like what I
yeah,
think, I mean, not a 43-point win, but they scored 43
sure.
points last
Yeah.
week. They're not going to do that again this week.
Hmm.
And the Bills offense is going to destroy, I think, that Patriot defense. I don't think that Patriots defense is very good. Christian Gonzalez is crazy good, but
Hmm.
overall, I don't think the defense is great. So,
Fair enough. We talked a lot about the Lions, so we'll just swim into this pick here. Lions minus 10.5 at minus 105 against the Bengals. You mentioned earlier this is a matchup nightmare. Probably the best offense in football against the by far the worst defense. I actually want to go see what I had my final score prediction. I have this 56 to 21. I think the Lions are going to drop 50 points this week, which, might be alarming on the surface, but this Bengals defense is atrocious. And to make it even worse, they are on the field for about 40 minutes a game because their offense is now producing more penalties than they are first downs. So now they're tired and they suck, which is the ultimate terrible combination when you're playing the Lions. I mean, the Browns defense last week did as well as they could for as long as they could. But as soon as their offense stopped going down the field, they get tired, they get marched on, and the Lions just they blow it open. Um, this Lions team is hungry. They're dangerous still. I kind of doubted them coming into this season a little bit more than last year. Coming off a 15-2 year where you lose first round, it's kind of hard to mentally bounce back from that. But again, they have done incredible things, and even without Ben Johnson, they have shown that they are still capable with the talent around them. The Bengals, to me, are just that team that I don't know if they will win more than 2 games without Joe Burrow before he comes back. So I got the Lions at a landslide here.
I don't know how this line isn't like I don't understand. How are the Bills 12.5 point favorites over the Dolphins
Hmm.
2 weeks ago, but yet this line is 10.5?
It is
It's
in Cincinnati. That's probably a little bit of a difference maker.
probably
So,
right. But a lot of Lions fans are just going to travel.
hmm.
It's not really, you know what I mean? Like a lot of Lions fans are just going to go down to Cincinnati for the game.
Yep.
A lot of Bengals fans are kind of like, oh, we might suck now. I don't
Yeah.
think the Bengals really going to be reinvigorated until they make a move at quarterback. And even then, I don't think this team's going to be very good. I mean, this was a team that some people had missing the playoffs even with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Now without him, one of the four best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, come on. So yeah, I like this pick a lot. You can tie this up with other stuff if you want better odds on the Lions.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Okay, we are going to close it out with Patriots plus 7.5 at minus 105. So if you parlay all this, it'll be 10 to win $477.36. Odds are subject to change, obviously. I do, you know, I think watching the Patriots the last couple of weeks has, you know, reinstated what I thought they were in the preseason. If you remember in my preseason predictions, I had them sneaking in at the 7 seed. And that was kind of like my big, ploy in the AFC. We won't talk about my NFC pick being Carolina to win the NFC South, but
Hey, mine
um,
was the same, so I get
yeah.
it. I get it.
um, I do think this Patriots team though, is kind of right where they want to be. They're in a place where they haven't, won games that they shouldn't have, which really helps you to keep your feet on the ground, realize who you are. So in that game against Pittsburgh, right? They lose by only 7 points. I think they had 5 turnovers in that game. And what impressed me most, obviously, not the fact that they turned the ball over, but the fact that they were able to lose the turnover battle that badly and still stay a step behind them the entire game. If Demario Douglas doesn't run backwards on 4th and 1, they might win that game in overtime, which is really, really great. And then last week, too, I don't know if I had Carolina winning or not. I'm not sure what my pick was there. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, obviously,
Oh yeah, me too.
than the blowout it was.
If you had Patriots spread last week, you weren't sweating after the first quarter.
No, not even close. But again, I think 7.5 points here. The Bills on primetime, not that they lose. I just don't think they play their best football at night.
No, they don't blast teams.
No.
And this is a game that's going to be like a 3 point game. Like I feel like it's 17-14, maybe Patriots at half.
Hmm.
And people are like tweeting out like, "Yo, oh my gosh!" And this is kind of like the Drake Mays here game,
Yep.
right? And then third quarter, oh, it's 21-17, scoreless quarter for the Patriots. And then end of the game, it's like 28-20. And
Yeah,
you're like, okay, Bills won, which would barely cover.
it would. It would.
If
I
it's
have
exactly 28-20, I'll shit myself.
I have 24-20. So that's pretty close to what I have. But I still do think the Patriots cover. And whether or not it's one of those like, down by 11 the entire game, you go down the field, score a garbage time touchdown to cover, it might be. I do think, though, that the Patriots are a little bit overlooked in a division with the Jets and the Dolphins where you don't have a lot of competition. Um, Buffalo, I feel like I don't think they'll lose this game in Buffalo. I don't think they go 6-0 in the AFC East, though. I do feel like they either lose to well, I guess the Jets are out of the picture now that they lost at home. I think they lose to the Patriots though in New England here in a couple of weeks.
I agree. I'm not gonna touch that. Like the Bills, I love to throw in and bet on, but like I do think the Patriots will steal a game. I like this Patriots team a lot. You know that at the beginning of the year I had them
Yeah,
making playoffs. Like I love Drake May. That's my new guy, and hopefully, what there's not going to be a game this year where the Patriots play the Chargers, which is disappointing for me because then it'd be my new boy versus my ex.
there you go.
So,
Playoffs,
now,
you never know. I mean,
yeah, that's true. It could happen. That'd be crazy.
it
That'd be
would be
crazy. Like a three
2-7. That's really
two
up
seven's
there.
probably the
Yeah,
odds. Yeah, it's probably
yeah,
2-7. I was gonna say 3-6. I'm like, nah, it's probably 2-7.
yeah.
All right, so primetime picks for last week. Um, we technically went 2 for 2. Packers Cowboys you just kind of say as a push, so I guess 2-1. We both had Jets over Finns. Jets, like I
Hmm.
said, looking worse. I still kind of like them, but not as much as I did previously. And then Packers over Cowboys. I mean, how many parlays got ruined? I mean, like not ruined, they didn't break, but we just got pushed. Now the
Sure.
odds are taken out, voided. Yeah, just gosh, I mean, credit to the Cowboys. I think everybody thought they're gonna get shit on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like credit to them. So maybe Brian Schottenheimer, decent coach.
I don't know. It's still too early to tell. That was a big pressure game from Jerry Jones, obviously, because the narrative is there, right, with Micah Parsons and everything. And the fact that he even agreed to go on the NBC pregame show really surprised me from a guy with that big of an ego. But no, I think they played very well. Obviously, defensively, they had their issues, and we'll talk about that down the road, I'm sure. But I don't think their offenses looked this good since probably 2020 before Dak got hurt. So if I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm excited for what's to come when you get a good defense.
I would say their offense looked this good that time they retired Brady when Dak like had like the game of his life.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that
it.
2022?
Yes, it would have been.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean that was pretty impressive from them. I would also say with the Cowboys, when you're them, the tie was almost as good as a win for you because that showed that you were just as good as the
Yeah.
Packers, at least that week. And when
Mhm.
you're the Packers, like you started off and everybody was saying you're the Super Bowl contender, and then you lose week 3 in a shocker, and you're just like, oh well, it's the Browns. They sometimes get random wins like that. But then you turn around week 4 and tie with the Cowboys. It's like I don't think this team's bad, but this team is
Mhm.
not world beaters.
No,
Jordan Love, I think, needs to step up his play. That's my thing.
I would agree. It's a good take.
All right, primetime picks for week 5. Thursday night football, we have Rams, Niners in LA. Who are you taking?
Mostly because of home field advantage in the NFC West. I'm taking the Rams here, 20-16. Going to be a close one, low scoring, but I just feel like these teams split pretty much every year, with the exception of maybe the Rams Super Bowl year. I'm pretty sure they actually went 3-0 against them, beating them in the NFC Championship. I I just think the home teams had the advantage majority of time in the NFC West. Last week being the exception with Seattle and Arizona. But again, Puka Nakua right now, I can't believe we haven't brought him up yet in this entire segment. On
True.
pace for a ridiculous season.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, he's done it quietly. Like, there have been other receivers that have gone out there and had like really good individual games. Puka's just been like grinding out these 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown week after week after week, and no one's talking about it. I think he's on pace for 2,100 yards right now.
No, he could have a bonkers season and like no one's going to talk about it until like
Hmm.
week 8. It feels
Yeah,
like, including us. Like we haven't, like you said, we haven't
right.
talked about it yet.
Yeah, but I also trust that Rams defense here. I know last week the Colts probably deserved to win that game, with dropping the ball or fumbling
That
out of the
was
back of the end zone.
yeah.
How are we still doing this in 2025? Like, come on. But I still do think they're a very solid group defensively. Not saying the Niners aren't either, but I just think they're also in a very odd place with injuries. I think Ricky Pearsall is questionable this week. You know, Kittle has just been hurt since week one. Purdy's finally getting back into the swing of things, but they just looked underwhelming last week and they lost to Jacksonville. And I don't know if they can mentally recover on a short week.
I have the Rams too. You know, I hate betting against Sean McVay. I think this is arguably the two best coaches in the league. I don't know if I'm still sold on Shanahan anymore. I think since Super Bowl 58, I've kind of soured a little bit. I used to be like a big Shanahan flag waver.
Hmm.
I just think, and the Niners defense, they were the team from hell last year. Ravens team from hell this year, potentially.
Oh
Was
my
it?
goodness, it has to be. Like I
Gotta
don't
be.
even think any other team comes close right now.
Yeah, it's got to be them. Which it's been them, I think, a couple years ago too. So it's pretty crazy
Yeah,
they've done it.
21, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it might
Yeah,
have been.
yeah, I think it was 21 when like Lamar got hurt and Mark
Yep.
Andrews got hurt too,
Hmm.
and like it was like like Tyler Huntley hours, I think. But anyways,
Yeah.
I like the Rams. I agree they're probably going to split in the season. I see them doing it at home, so yeah, it makes sense. Next up, we've talked a lot about Bills Patriots. I think we both have the Bills
Yeah.
in Buffalo.
Yep.
I think the like we literally ran down what I think is going to happen in this game. I don't think we need to talk
Yeah.
about it anymore. Next
Fair
up, Monday
enough.
Night Football. Interesting Monday Night Football game. I think when they scheduled this originally, they probably weren't sure how good of a game it was going to be, but given the
Hmm.
way things have gone, Jacksonville going into this one 2-2 and kind of feeling good about themselves. It almost feels like a 3-1 team.
Are they? I thought they were 3-1 actually. I think they are.
Why
Yeah,
do I?
they lost to the Bengals,
They lost the Bengals.
beat the Texans, beat the Niners, and then
Oh
they
yeah, they
won
are
week
three
one.
and one. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know why I felt Chiefs are 2-2.
Yes, that's
I was
right. Yeah.
flipping it in my head. My bad. Yeah, good call.
You got it. Yeah.
So this one's in Jacksonville, and I actually think the Jags win this. I think it's a statement. I think it's an ugly game,
Hmm.
and I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is playing that well. I think they just are like I don't even know how they're winning. Like they
Yeah.
just kind of like Brian Thomas Jr. is their wide receiver one. He's not playing that well. Travis Hunter hasn't really impressed. I don't know how they're winning, but they are.
Yeah.
And maybe I should pay more attention Monday night. Try to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think they're
I
gonna
would
win.
say that's the team I've witnessed probably the least amount of football from this year. So I couldn't tell you either how they're winning games. I saw Cam Little miss like a 40-yard field goal. So it's not their special teams that's doing great things all the time,
Yeah.
but I'm taking Kansas City here in a high scoring game. I have it 35-27. Um,
Wow.
and I think everything for me in this prediction came down to last week. I have never seen the Baltimore Ravens lack so much effort because they are getting beat down so bad. It has been years since that team has looked that bad. And for Kansas City, a team that walked in there at 1-2, threatening to drop to 1-3, what a big win! Not just a statement win. What that's a big win for their season. I haven't seen their offense look like that. Even last year in the playoffs, they didn't look that good. Mahomes looked like he was back in his MVP status during that game. Not to say he'll play like
Wow.
that in Jacksonville. He looked ridiculous. And again, who's he throwing to? It's not Xavier Worthy. It's Juju Smith-Schuster, and there's like two other guys that I don't even know off the top of my head. He's making stuff happen with nobodies. And honest to goodness, that's what Tom Brady did a lot of times in New England. He had a Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, and he'd have a random wide receiver. I don't know,
Danny
Chris Hogan.
Amendola,
Yeah, Danny Amendola. Come on now,
Dolphin legend.
yeah. But again, he is just doing a lot with a little offensively. And I think that Chiefs defense is getting better, though. They're doing a very good job getting to the quarterback. And Trevor Lawrence doesn't do very good against pressure. So I think
That's
that's
a
a
really
very,
good point.
very
I
big
do
matchup
think
to
it's
look at.
either an ugly game, Jacksonville pulls it out, or it's like Mahomes has like four touchdowns and like 280 yards, and you're like,
Mm,
oh shit, they're not going away. Damn it. No, they're back.
yeah.
No. Like that's one of
Yeah.
those. Right? I mean, that's kind of the two outcomes.
Yeah. No, I get that. And I actually feel like where the Chiefs are right now, they've kind of flipped roles with Philadelphia. Not to say people get like the stigma of being sick and tired of a franchise after they win a Super Bowl. Eagle fans have become insufferable over these past couple of weeks just because of their fluky game ending, especially with the Rams, maybe against Tampa Bay, they played a little bit better, but some of the officiating too has kind of been like, I felt this way with Kansas City the last couple of years, and I don't feel that way about them right now. Maybe it's because they're losing games, but I actually have a lot more respect for the Chiefs now than I did probably last year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do think there's a path if the Eagles go like 13-4 that like going to the playoffs, like a lot of people don't like the Eagles. Like
Hmm.
they're just like, I don't want to see them again. Because I think right now they have like exciting players.
Yep.
Like the recipe for people not liking you is to win a lot and to not play exciting,
Hmm.
especially if you have exciting players and you're not playing exciting football. Like people are just out on that instantly.
Yep.
It's like you have AJ Brown because like part of it's fantasy, right? Like people have fantasy teams and they want like I know it sounds dumb, but like if you have like AJ Brown in fantasy and you got him second round and he doesn't do anything interesting, that's gonna make you not like the Eagles. Like it's just
Right.
natural. And I do think like if they keep having say like if Saquon rushes for like 1,100 yards, which I know is like stupid that that's like not impressive for him, but it isn't.
Yeah.
If it is like 1,100 yards and it's like okay, and he has like only like a couple games where he gets like over like 150 mark, it's just gonna be like okay. Like Saquon's still a top five running back, but he wasn't like incredible. And like Jalen Hurts passes for like 3,000 yards max.
Yeah.
I
Like,
don't know.
it's boring. It's not fun to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Celtics did this in basketball a few years back when they won the title.
Mm,
I say a few years, literally like a year ago.
yeah.
I called it Excel sheet basketball. I'm like, this is efficient, this is effective, this is mathematically correct, but I don't like watching it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the Eagles feel right now. They're like the Chiefs last year were like just weird. Like it was like, how is this team 15-2?
Hmm.
Like how did I mean at first they were like it looked like they were going to go 17-0 and like nobody felt like they were the best team, but they just kept winning games off of
Yep.
random fluky shit.
Yep.
And the Eagles are like efficiency at its peak. Just like credit to them. That doesn't mean I have
Sure.
to like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, for as hated as Nick Sirianni is, he is a good coach. Like, I do have to give him credit there.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, credit to you.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing, how you feel about Dylan Gabriel?
I'm excited. I'm glad that we're actually bold enough to like make a change at quarterback. And I think going overseas is probably the perfect place to do it because there is zero pressure from home fans, from away fans. It's almost like a non-existent atmosphere. So
Like
why
an
not?
exhibition game.
Sure. Yeah. It actually feels like it. So it's like preseason to him. He's looked good for the moments he's played during the regular season. Granted, it was garbage time, but why not? I mean, we got nothing to lose at this point.
I think it's a lock you guys lose because the Vikings get to stay over. Um,
True.
but I actually bet the Vikings last week forgetting it was the doubling game. And I woke up and I was
Mm,
like, oh my gosh, I
yeah.
forgot. Europe games are always a no bet because they're always weird. But yeah, that was my mistake. Rookie mistake from me. Um, yeah, I'm interested to see Gabriel. I hope he's not good, so my boy Shador starts, but that's besides the point. It's whatever.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, he'll be there eventually. All right. Um, yeah, as far I mean, there's a sect of the Carolina Panthers fans that believe Bryce Young is the problem. There's a sect that believe the team just sucks. I want to get your quick thoughts. And we'll have to wrap it up here in about 30 seconds. Just quick thoughts. At some point with a quarterback, if he keeps being bad, you spent back-to-back first-round picks and wide receivers. Now, granted, one of them isn't very good, and that's Xavier Legette. But at some point, when is it on him?
Yeah, no, I think that the more that you lose, the more and more weight goes on them. And at some point, you just got to admit that you're wrong. Like, don't be the
Yeah,
Cleveland Browns where it's an ego war in your front office.
yeah.
Just move on.
Well, I think everybody's afraid of it being a Baker Mayfield situation. We trade him away and he does better somewhere else. It's like, yeah, that
Mhm.
would suck, but in the same sense, if it's not working for us,
Why use it? Like,
like, I mean, you have to move on. All right.
yep,
That's it. Thank you, Austin. I'll talk again next week.
absolutely appreciate it.